back in full effect. Not in nearly as bad a mood. It's Audibly Fat. Welcome to the show. Definitely not nearly as pissed off as I was last time. A lot more stoned, a lot chiller about it. But I still hate restaurants. That hasn't changed. I definitely am not into it. I'm done with them. 2020, I think I heard, like 19 million or 15 million people or something like that. Nearly 20 million people left the restaurant business in 2020. And I left about 8 days before 2020. About 2 months before the bottom fell out of the industry. So I got out just in time. And a lot of people are leaving the industry. Every restaurant I go to, I do business-to-business sales. And I service a lot of restaurants. So every restaurant I go to is hurting. Every restaurant I go to is short-staffed, anywhere from little ones to really corporate ones to scratch to fast food. Everybody's hurting. And it's gonna weed out all the bullshit. This is all eventually a good thing. If your restaurant doesn't survive this, it was never meant to. It just is what it is. This is a good thing. This is a good time. You can use the Delta variant or 2020 or the employment shortage or whatever you want to use. There's a ton of excuses now that are viable that aren't my food's garbage. So you can run away now and still save face amongst your community, your peers, or whatever. People leaving the restaurant industry. I mean, good. It's a dog shit industry. I hate it. I hated it. It just tears you apart. It's good. Like I said, I think I said, unless you're contemplating suicide or something that's going to put you in prison, I would definitely go to a restaurant and get a job because they're never going to go away. But, it's definitely not, if you definitely want to have a stable relationship with any man or woman or non-binary entity, if you want to have children, if you want to maintain a stable emotional health, emotional well-being, if you want to maintain a healthy lifestyle, if you want to maintain a good diet, if you want to maintain sobriety, I wouldn't work in a kitchen. If you don't care about any of those things, which most young people don't, especially young people without a purpose that are kind of drifting along in their early 20s, and that's where you end up. So that's what it's for. Excuse me, but it's not for anybody who actually wants a stable, good life. It's for someone who, if you smoke cigarettes and do cocaine and take Adderall and go, ooh, what's in that little orange jar? Then it's good for you because you don't inherently value life. So you don't inherently value yourself. You don't value yourself. You don't value your own life. So that's what the restaurant business is for. Large house salad, table 6, bitch, run it. Sorry, I hate when people drink and they film or they do radio or podcasts. This is goddamn worse. I'll never do that again. I'm very sorry. I fucking hate that. I'll pause next time. It's definitely for people that are on the brink. It's not for people that want stability. It's not for people that want a good life. It's not for people that want, it's for losers. I'm a lot chiller about it, but I stand by what I said last time. It really fucking is, man. I've met some of the best people I've ever met in restaurants, especially cooking. I've met some of the best people, some great people, some of the best characters. You can still catch characters in this country if you go to a restaurant, if you get a job in a restaurant, you know what I mean? But you're not, their lives get better when they leave. Even if they go to fucking bartending at a hotel, their life's going to inherently get better. You know what I mean? Like, their life's just going to get better if they leave the kitchen. And they do. The track record shows it. But there's definitely some great people working in restaurants. But their lowest point in their lives, they'll tell you, is when they probably had a lot of fun, but it's when they were working at restaurants. Being a loser's fun. Being a loser's a good time. People don't tell you that. Not caring's easy. Not giving a shit, not having skin in the game, not, you know what I mean? Just being on the fringes. It's easy. That's an easier life. It ultimately leads to a bitter end, a horrific bitter end, but it's an easier path for the most part in the beginning, especially young, man. You can put up with a lot of shit. You can stay up all night, you get up early and go do whatever it is you're doing again, work or otherwise. But yeah, so your favorite restaurant is probably shit. If you took me to it, it's probably ass. Like truly, because I mean, we live in America, so most restaurants are bad. Like me and my wife went to New York City, and granted, I didn't make any reservations. I know good restaurants. You know what I mean? I know enough about chefs and people's reputations to like where you can go. Like I know where I can go in Harlem and get good food. You know what I mean? But I also we were on layovers for 12 hours and one for 14 hours. And so you take a train ride, you know what I mean? We get a locker for your luggage, it's not, we're not making reservation. I'm like, let's just go try and figure it out. And the thing about New York City is it's so big and it's so dense. It's like any other problem in any other city, except it's magnified times 10. That's everything in New York, seemingly. If you listen to New Yorkers, they'll tell you, this is where music is criticized. This is where you got to come here to make it. Like, suck my fucking dick, dude. New Yorkers, goddamn, they're hillbillies. They're all hillbillies. Like, all of them. And I mean, obviously the 1% of the 1% resides in Manhattan. I get all that. And the Hamptons, but it's like, I mean, they're all hillbillies, dude, through and through. At least from my experience, every person I've ever met from there or going there, that's all I ran into. You rub shoulders with other cultures, but you're still a hillbilly. Anyways, maybe you're just an American. Yeah, we went there on a layover. Not trying to shit or praise New York either way. We went there. I can't judge it. I've spent less than a day and a half there, separately. One night layover, 1 day layover. Both of them less than 15 hours. One was legitimately like 12 or 11, and then one was like 14 or 13. Yeah, every place we ate was shit. Every place we ate was absolute shit. And I get there's 300,000 places to eat in those 5 boroughs. Like there's literally 1/3 of a million places to get food, and not including Wawas and gas stations or whatever they call them. You know what I mean? Like restaurants. There's literally hundreds of thousands of places to get to eat in the 5 boroughs. So the odds of you just knowing the math and knowing restaurants and knowing Americans and knowing America and working in the industry, the odds of me getting good food without making a reservation were really not good. When you have a city that dense, a population that dense, you can just throw anything on a plate. If it's hot, in America, if it's hot and it's salty and it's in front of them in under 8 minutes, I mean, you're a great cook in their eyes. Oh, this fucking place is great. This cheese is melted. This cheese is melted. And you know what? They deep fried it and it was crunchy. Like, that's it. That's what it takes. It's hot, kind of salty, and under 10 minutes. You want it in 8 minutes. And then, I mean, dude, you'll kill it in this country. So there's not much standard. So the odds of us, me and her, running into anything good weren't high, and we didn't. I mean, fuck, dude. We did not. Everything we got was bad. The fucking halal, like, oh, dude, the pizza, like, fuck. It all sucked, dude. A bad ice cream, like, everywhere I went. You know what I mean? And I asked people nearby, like, where would you go? And they go, oh, right over there. And then you're like, oh, but. It's kind of like the first time I went to Barcelona in 2014. And I went to the big market there, La Boqueria, like, the big, on La Rambla. Yeah. You go there. I mean, Anthony Bourdain, all the travel people have been there. So you go there, and the food was fucking fantastic back then. Everywhere I went was just, could not believe it. I was just like, God fucking damn, dude. The cured meat, the fresh vegetables, the fucking tapas, the fucking seafood, the oysters, you know what I mean? You get fucking escabeche, you know what I mean? You get La Rochelle oysters, like right cracked open right there, right in front of you. You get fucking, you know, you can still get that. But I mean, everything else, like the paella is like, fuck, dude. Like, I got like this, you know, Iberico ham sandwich. Like, this shit was just tremendous. I'm just eating the empanadas, dude. Just, you're eating all this shit, and it's just remarkable. And then I go with my fiance at the time, my wife now. We go in 2018. Yeah, we go in 2018. And dude, they microwaved everything. Every stand, everything you fucking order, they turn around and they had 4 fucking microwaves because Anthony Bourdain had been there, because, you know, Eddie Wong had been there, or whoever. I don't even know if Eddie Wong went there. I don't know. But whoever. Anthony Bourdain's probably the big one. But these people, you know, they go there, and now it's just fucking teeming with people. And the food's fucking ass. I'm sure it's good, but they're fucking nuking it right in front of you on a plastic serving tray, on the fucking to-go container. They're plasting it. They're microwaving it in the to-go container. If you know anything about microwaves, you don't microwave with plastic, like, or styrofoam or any of that shit. All that shit goes right in your fucking food. You shouldn't be microwaving it anyways. I still don't understand them. Everyone says they're safe and it's like a low-level radiation. You get more radiation at the airport. You get more radiation with fucking going on a bus and blah, 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 blah. You never been on a bus, bitch. Like, microwaves are fucking weird, dude. I didn't have one for a decade. And then also didn't have a license for a decade because I thought those were weird too. I thought that's strange. The only thing I paid was taxes because I saw what they did to Martha Stewart and Wesley Snipes, and I read a book about Al Capone when I was a little kid, and I was like, oh, that's how they got him. It wasn't, you know, the hard truth. It was a very vanilla book that I could get at a Scholastic book fair. But my point about La Boqueria was the food was trash because it was teeming with people, and everyone was just like, oh, wow, I'm in Berthy. The food is amazing. Like, I don't want, the food probably was great, but I don't want it nuked on a plastic tray. I can get this back in the States, dog. Like, all fucking day. Like, I can go to Noodles and Company and get this shit. So anyways, ended up screaming at some lady in front of the almond stand in front of hundreds of people in the little Spanish I know. You know, my broken Spanish. ¿Dónde quiere vamos? Story for another day. It went ballistic. She was fucking screaming at me, trying to fucking make me feel fucking stupid in front of everybody. I get it. I'm 6'2", you know what I mean? With shoes on, I'm probably taller. You know, I'm 320, 300, and at the time, probably, you know, 320, 315 fucking pounds. I've been as heavy as 345. Like, I get it. I'm a big son of a bitch, but, and I have a backpack on, and this place is crowded, and she acted like me standing to go sit at this other bar, this place that's, like, actually good, that you're going to get food where there's actually, you know, people with fucking saute pans and, like, they're gonna actually cook you some shit to order, with a menu, and it's, you know what I mean, one of the last bastions of good food in that fucking market. Like, we're trying to sit there, and I'm standing there with this backpack, and I even fucking took it off and put it between my legs, so it's only as wide as me, you know. And I'm pressed up against these people eating. I'm literally, me and my wife are fucking, like, my dick is resting on the stool he's sitting on, and, you know, not that it would be my dick, it'd be my balls. I don't have a big dick, but I'm as close to these people as I could fucking be, is my point. You know what I mean? My gut's touching them, like, legitimately. And this bitch is yelling at me, dude. Like, she's fucking yelling at me. Like, sir, you need to move. Sir, you need to move. Sir, like, bitch, fuck you. Everyone else, if you look at it's big, it's built on a fucking kiosk, like a rotunda. You know what I mean? All these bar stools all around it, and a glass there, and it's like a sushi bar. It's like a big 360-degree sushi bar, and there's people standing behind every person eating. And me and my wife found 2 people to stand behind, and this bitch wants to give me shit. So yeah, I lost my fucking shit on her, and I'm big, and everyone's like, bleh, bleh, bleh. Luckily I spoke Spanish a little bit, so they were like, you know, I'm like racially ambiguous enough to where they were like, he looks pretty American. Like, he has a fucking Giants hat or a Warriors hat, a t-shirt with like something stupid on it, probably a fight poster or a Giants shirt, or like, you know, some dumb size 13 Nikes and cargo shorts. Like, yeah, I'm American, dude, but no one did anything to you. No one does anything to you. I mean, I think a few weeks after I left the first time, somebody drove a fucking van down that street and killed a bunch of people, literally like days after I left. Fucking. But anyways, that's my point about restaurants, is that there's more and more of us, and there's less and less standards. And when you're feeding Americans at La Boqueria, they were feeding Barcelonians. You know what I mean? They were feeding Spanish people and French tourists. You know what I mean? Tourists they respected a little bit. Tourists that spoke Spanish at least. And then you fast forward to when it's incredibly popular, and then they're feeding us. They're feeding me again. You know, just pigs at the trough. You know, they're just like, get it hot, make it, you know, put some bench. Hey, what the fuck's name are you eating? Come here. God, this dog, dude. God damn it. What are you doing? Dude. This dog's a fucking terrorist, dude. What are you doing? Put that paw down. Dude, I'm not even gonna acknowledge what you just did. Holy fuck. Oh, my blood just ran cold. What was I talking about? Yeah, they're feeding pigs, man. They're feeding. So that's what it is in America. It's you know, it's Chili's and Wendy's and Jimmy John's and Subway. Subway's the number 1 restaurant in the fucking country. There's more Subways than McDonald's. You know? These motherfuckers took over the world, dude. Took over the fucking world. Even with the scandal, even with Jared Epstein, they were like, bitch, we got the highest GDP of any restaurant in the country. I don't know if that's true, but they have more restaurants, they have more locations than anywhere else in the country. It's fucking remarkable. They're everywhere. They're fucking everywhere. And it's gross. So eating in this country is fucking gross, dude. It's just, I as nice a restaurant as it is and as shitty as a restaurant it is, the same delivery truck that's on his route, he goes to Subway's, and then he also hits the fine dining spot in the same day. So, I mean, it's like, the ingredients aren't that much different. I know places like McDonald's and you know, all these fast food joints and Subway, and they all have their own specific shit. Like, everyone knows McDonald's has what is it? The Coca-Cola. Everyone knows they have their own formula. They get their own specific. So I know that. But still, there's some overlap there, dude. There's more overlap than you should be comfortable with. There's more, and that's just in the ingredients. And I'm not here to shit on every restaurant I've ever worked at, because some of them I want to succeed and survive all this shit. And some of them are great. I worked in really great restaurants, you know, fantastic restaurants that I love, and I want to see succeed with owners I respect. But as a whole, as an industry, fuck it. I mean, legitimately, fuck it. And it doesn't need my money. There's a bunch of fucking mouth breathing, fucking knuckle dragging assholes that are gonna patronize your shit that you don't need me, you know. And and frankly, I'm a better cook than anybody you employ there, you know. So I it's good. I make better Italian food than any Italian place I'm gonna go spend money at. I make better butter chicken than any butter chicken I'm gonna go buy. No, that might not be true, but I make pretty good butter chicken. You know what I mean? But I know for a fact I make better American food, anything American, anything barbecue. I have my own smoker. I know how to season meat. I know how to handle it. I know I've done trials and errors, and I still will. I still do things, and I perfect them and figure it out. But I've definitely, like, when it comes to Mexican food, like, come on, I'm not, like, the very few places, and not where I live, not in Colorado, not up here, dude. If anybody knows one, fucking comment one. Name one fucking place worth of shit. Like, I found a couple places that are, like, I can tolerate them. They're, like, at a California level. But they're not, like, I can do better, you know? I can make better Italian food than you're going to make me. East Coast Italian, New Jersey Italian, you know, the red lead, Sunday gravy, all that shit. Like, I'm going to make it better. Like, I really am. And I know the brands to buy. I know I know the good tomatoes. I know the good tomatoes. I know the good peppers. I know them, dog. I know which ones to get. So, I know the good cheeses. And it's not in this continent. You know, I didn't realize how much food I did like until I went to, you know, you leave this country and you're like, oh, unpasteurized cheese. Like, oh my God, cheese is fucking remarkable. I thought I hated provolone. Like, yeah, I'm not better than any of them. I'm not going to waste my fucking money. You see what my wages, none of our wages, because I'm just a normal dude. Like, we're all just normal people. No one listening to this is anything. I doubt any rich people will ever hear this. Ever. Normal people, their wages haven't gone up. So, but the prices of restaurants have fucking skyrocketed. It's like gas. It's like everything else. Prices of homes, all of it. All of it. It matches the rest of the economy. It matches the rest of everything. The inflation of all of it. Price inflation across the board. Wages haven't matched it. So to me, for my money, that's why those stupid fucking things. Like, dude, you know how fucking trash restaurants are in this country? You know how ass restaurants are in this country? They're selling Hungry Man's and fucking microwavable dinners on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and shit and YouTube, and they're mailing them to people's houses, and people are nuking meals in a plastic container, and they think they're healthier than going to fucking Subway. Like, that's how garbage we are as a nation, as human beings. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's a lot of cultures that don't treat food like this, but I mean, we've bastardized the shit. No, not very many people in this country are going hungry. I don't know. They always say there are. You always hear that there's kids going hungry in America, and I'm always blown away. Because that's just a piece of shit retarded parent. And that's your fucking CPS. Those are the kids they didn't sell into human trafficking, the ones that are starving. They just didn't sell them. Like, Child Protective Services you hear about, like, I grew up in the same fucking town that Phil Garrido was in, where he kidnapped that girl in Tahoe, where I vacationed my whole life with my sisters and brothers. And he kidnapped this girl and took her back to my hometown and stuck her in a backyard and fucking kept her there for 20 years and even had a kid with her. Like, CPS ain't shit, but my brothers and sisters went into foster care, even though my dad never didn't have a job. My dad beat the shit out of me. My dad was a complete garbage father. I get all that, but he's better than the foster care system. You know what I mean? Like, at least when they were at my dad's house, there were neighbors or a grandmother to call. You know, they can go to neighbors' houses. My brothers and sisters could escape, and I can go to my mom's. You know what I mean? There was more outlets there than there are at fucking some creep's house in fucking Vallejo. Like, oh God, like my siblings were in the foster care system. It's absolutely horrific. Luckily, I had a mom. You know, but no, they don't stop kids that are hungry in this country. They just sell them into trafficking, and then they focus on that type of shit. Like, but they're definitely not saving kids from starving. So, but apparently, I mean, they say people are starving in America, but I find, I mean, I'm sure there are. There's so many possibilities, and I don't know everything, so that has to be true. But we've bastardized food, man. There's not a lot of people going hungry here. I lived in a car. I was kicked out of my house fucking 18 years old, barely 18 years old. I barely survived the summer out of high school. I graduated when I was 17. I started my senior year when I was 16. Within within 13 months of starting my senior year, I was homeless. And I was, barely a 17-year-old kid, barely an 18-year-old kid. And like I said, I was 340 fucking pounds. I didn't have a license for a decade. I was poor for a decade. Complete, like, when my wife met me, I lived in my buddy's mom's apartment, renting a room for $300 a month. Like, and that was the best living situation I had in years, other than having my own place. And losing that, there's a whole nother story there. I can do a whole hour and a half on that shit. But yeah, I've been fat the whole fucking time. I've been fat the whole fucking time. I still to this day don't think I've made $40,000 in a year in my life. And I'm fat. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just saying, dog, like, that's how bad the fucking food is. That's how garbage it is. That's how terrible the food is. That's how fucked your options are. That's how terrible options are for people. And no one gives a shit. No, I mean, the woman I married gives a shit. Her major is in nutrition and wellness. And it's like, I mean, she's one of the only people I know. She'll make my fucking head spin when we talk about food. When I'm like, oh, this isn't bad. And she'll literally laugh at me and then pull it and then just show me 1,000 reasons why. And I'm just like, oh, God. Like, it's scarier than you think. You're never going to run from it, man. Like, because once you go to Whole Foods and you go through, you got shit wrapped in plastics. What do they spray that? What do they spray that? Is it really organic? What do they spray on that? Why is that cucumber so big? So that's why everybody in this country, everybody's having autistic children and dying of cancer. It's fucked. We're just fucked. So, I mean, restaurants aren't the issue, but I don't know, man. They don't need your money. It's not, eating out is a terrible financial choice. Eating out is a terrible, just fuck them, man. Let that industry fucking fend for itself. Let them start paying people a real fucking wage. Let shit restaurants fucking die. Let good restaurants survive. And maybe I'll fucking go again. Let Darwin back into that motherfucker. Don't just patronize these sons of bitches just because it's fucking, they give you stickers at the window and there's a hashtag and there's a fucking dude with the fucking, a chick with tattoos at the window, and you're like, you know what I mean? And like they serve you drinks, and they're kind of assholes, but they got good local beers, you know what I mean? And it's like, fuck that shit. Like, these places don't fucking deserve your fucking money. Like, eat the food, take a bite and close your eyes and tell me that's great food and it's worth $17 fucking dollars. Like, legitimately, like take a bite. Hold on, I'm gonna give you a couple seconds. Take a bite. Yeah, it's not very fucking good, dude. It's not. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I like Raising Canes. I get it. The Raising Canes to me is genius. I'm sure a lot of people don't know what the fuck that is. I learned about it when I moved to Colorado. I mean, I'm sure it's in other states. I think I've seen one on I-80 on the way here by Reno somewhere. This place has coleslaw, French fries, toast, chicken tenders, and sauce. That is the menu. I think the only thing outside of that is they have a Kaiser roll bun where you can get a sandwich with 2 tenders, and then they have a slice of lettuce. But other than that, that's the entire fucking menu, dog. You get options. It's just variations of that. How many tenders do you want? Do you want double toast? Do you want fries, toast, slaw? Do you want double slaw? Do you want double toast with fries? Do you want double fries and slaw? Do you want double fries and toast? That's it. And then they got this sauce. It's like Thousand Island, and then somebody spilled the pepper in it. Somebody spilled shitty cafe grind pepper, which is fake pepper for layman's out there. That's fake pepper. Yeah, and it's delicious, dude. And it's hot, and it's fucking, and they fry them with cornstarch, and you cannot. The only thing is, you have to eat it there, or you have to fucking, when you get it in the car, you have to. Oh, Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ, Benji. I get it, dude. I get it. We'll get the black flag. I'll put on the mask. We'll start streaming. This fucking dog. Sorry about that. What was I saying? It's fucking genius. Yeah, they use cornstarch to fry the tenders. So it doesn't fuck your stomach up. If you avoid the toast, it's gluten-free, bitch. Or gluten-friendly. Honestly, ain't nothing gluten-free in a restaurant, baby. It's gluten-friendly at best. Some places take it seriously, the owner might, but not everybody he hired. So, not me. I mean, I'm just saying. I trust me, I've fired people for this shit. I've left restaurants for this type of shit. I've left restaurants because they microwave lasagnas. I'm no longer a chef because the last place I worked, the fucking cocksucking faggot wanted to fucking microwave lasagnas. Not that cocksucking is a negative connotation. I love getting my cocksuck. It's like D. Reynolds says, half the population loves half the population loves you get cocksucked. No one should be offended by that. But yeah, this fucking idiot. He went to fucking. He stormed the Capitol and didn't get out of the fucking car because he's a fucking loser and a bum. He wanted to microwave his. He wanted to wrap it in fucking cellophane and and it's just like. For the love of fucking God, can we build it in a pan and fire it to order it? We have a 550 degree fucking pizza oven. I can do this. If you just get out of my face, I'll make you a lasagna that's better. It does not gonna. His literal explanation for why he microwaved his fucking food for people is because he wanted it to look like a 7-layer Stouffer's lasagna. I don't know if you've ever seen those in the frozen food section. I don't even know if they sell them anymore, but they're from the fucking 90s. And it's just this wavy pasta and this shitty dry cheese and this light ketchup-y sauce. And it's just layers of that. It looks like your nonna's cake from hell. It's just terrible. And it has this melted scab of cheese on top with dried herbs in it. Oh, for the love of fucking God, dude, this guy. I just can't. I walked the fuck away. Not just because of that. It's just the food. I couldn't believe what I was doing. It's the pinnacle of my career as a chef. I became a head chef, no longer a sous chef for years, and I became a head chef. And then you realize, like, I'm making the worst food I've ever made. Like, I've walked out on stages for this type of shit. I show up to a stage, you got a microwave in your kitchen. I'm like, hey man, let me take that trash out. You'll never fucking see me again, dog. They're like, is this guy fucking just rip in a bowl? I'll just bounce, homie. Like, I've done it multiple times. And next thing you know, you find yourself because you want to move up in the career, and then you realize it's just all everything's just trash. And then the restaurant next door that is actually better, has a better menu that they're trying to do from scratch as much as possible. They employ fucking snot-nosed high school kids because they don't pay anything. And they tell you, you know, as a kitchen manager or a chef or a sous chef, like, yeah, you can employ a staff, but you can't pay any of them above minimum wage. There's a high school across the street. Pick from it. And it's just like, dude, like, I don't want these kids touching their fucking face on the fucking line, rubbing the fuck. Go to your favorite pizza joint and watch them. Just watch them touch their face, touch their hair, fucking wipe sweat. They like, it's fucking disgusting, dude. Handle money, touch your food, all at the same fucking hand. Even with COVID. And COVID made it fucking worse. Now you don't even get a fucking menu. Now you go to a goddamn restaurant, you sit down, you get a fucking, there's 6 of you, you get a drink menu, and then you're sitting there and you're talking, and you're like, whatever. It's, fucking another fucking dolt serving me. And then you're just talking because you're happy to see these people. You know, we're all, got the quarantine, so everybody's like, hey, how you been? There's still that vibe. But then she comes around, she goes, are we ready for appetizers? And we just look at it like, bitch, can we get menus? And she rolls her eyes and walks away. And then she comes back with another single menu for fucking multiple people and drops it at the fucking table. And then we're all looking at each other, and then it dawns on us, there's a QR code in the center of the table they want me to use. They want me to fucking use my goddamn data. I'm poor, bitch. You're not even giving. Put the Wi-Fi password next to it. I don't see that. I got to use my own data, my own cell plan. I got to burn my own cash to fucking. Dude, it's a fucking joke, man. And then they got fucking $13. The average price of an appetizer is anywhere from $9 to $13 fucking dollars. Legitimately, 8 to 12. If you're lucky. If you're lucky, you get some 8s. Like, I went to this place the other day, right across the street from the place I used to be a chef at. Great restaurant, allegedly. Owner's got a reputation. You go in there, and they got a shrimp cocktail for $2.75. So I'm thinking, all right, it's got to be like the little micro Gulf shrimp, and it's, tossed in sauce and, served with a garnish, put in a shot glass or something. Or when it says $2.75 a shrimp, you're like, okay, $2.75 shrimp. You're like, all right, then it's a shrimp in a bed of sauce, probably in an amuse-bouche spoon with like, something decent. Give me something, something that, like, we ordered fucking 3 of them. I get 3 shrimp on a butter plate with a fucking ramekin of sauce, dude. Like, these high school kids literally told me to go fuck myself for $8. I'm just like, dude, like, what? And then the cool thing now in all these hip fucking restaurants, these fucking hip restaurants, I employ all these, I let my, my staff wears a t-shirt and jeans with an apron. That's the uniform. And we're hip, and everyone has a bad attitude and a ton of tattoos. And it's like, yeah, I like people like that. Maybe she had a bad day, bro. Isn't she allowed to have a bad day? Like, not at work. No, you're not. No, you're not. Put a smile on, clown. The fuck are you doing? Don't burden me with your bullshit, and I don't care how it is. Life's a hell. Welcome to the club. Give me my ranch. No, I don't care what you feel. No, where's the food? So that's why I don't go, because I'm not going to shit on these people, but I really don't care. I just don't care. Especially as a chef, as a cook, I did not care. I do not care for your, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh my God. They employ losers, and they serve garbage fucking food, and you're supposed to just sit there with a smile on your fucking face and be happy that there's the patio. This place is the patio. Dude, you want to go out to the patio? We can get our stuff. I'm sure the server will be fine. We can move the patio. No, she's not going to be fine, because you're going to go to a different section, and she's going to get mad at the other server, and because they get all fucking greedy and go, how are we going to split this tip? I brought him his first round of waters, and now he moves sections, and they're all fucking just peasants, because these owners put them in a situation to where they're just beggars. They're literally walking around begging, and then they're not even good at it. They're indifferent. Most of them don't want to be there. And that's like a redeemable quality in kitchens. That's a redeemable quality in dining rooms. That's a redeemable quality in restaurants. Especially in these hipster fucking towns, man. Like Boulder and Portland and Seattle. Like, I love Portland. I love Seattle. I love San Francisco. But it's like, you're like, come on, man. Like, Boulder's beautiful. But everyone there is a fucking retarded cunt. And it's sought after. It's an intangible. It's listed as a skill on their fucking resume. I have tattoos and daddy issues. And I'm going to come in here. I'm going to shut my fucking mouth. I'm not going to respond to the cooks. And I'm not even going to respond to the fucking customers. I'm going to roll my eyes. That's how I communicate. I roll my eyes and I go, I guess. Fuck that shit, dude. Fuck that whole culture. Dude, carpet bomb it. Wipe it the fuck out. I hope COVID decimates it. Truly, truly, man. Don't survive. I don't care. Good restaurants should survive. Restaurants with money will survive. And you know what, man? It's a sign of automation, of the times, of what they did, of when they sold off the jobs to China and the CPAC or whatever the fuck it was, when they got rid of all of our shit. Like, it's just going to heighten that. It's just going to amplify and magnify what should already be a huge issue, the biggest issue. Everyone's over here worried about whether somebody said the R word or chink or whatever the fuck, and you know, and identity politics and all this dumb bullshit, and they're not worried about, like, legitimately, like, their entire livelihood is getting pulled out from under them, and they're smiling the whole way. You're just smiling. Every time you patronize these places, you work against yourself. Everybody who's like a Marxist and like an Antifa type is like, they all have iPhones, dude. They all they still go to Chick-fil-A. Like, after the rally, the Proud Boys and Antifa are in the same line at Chick-fil-A. You know what I mean? Like, where they're in the same line at McDonald's, where they're putting on automation to get rid of manpower, to get rid of labor. Like, I don't go to the self-check stand at grocery stores. I fucking refuse. And if I do, I steal. I'll steal half the things I get. I'll steal hundreds of dollars of shit. Because I don't work here. And if you want to employ me for this 10, 20, 30 minutes, my rate is through the roof. My rate as an employee is hundreds of dollars an hour. So if I'm going to work for a half hour, that means I get $150 worth of shit because I'm $300 an hour employee. Don't hire me. Open check stands. Why do you support this shit? Why do people go in that line? Why are those lines packed? And the one old lady with like the disabled guy bagging has one person at it. Like, why wouldn't you support? Do you not see who this job employs? Like, these people need jobs, man. And you're just like, no, self-check. I don't want to talk to anybody. And I get that. But say hello. Hey, how you doing? Like, it's so easy. You know, Denmark. Hi. That's how you say goodbye in Denmark. Hi. Anyways, I got to go. I'll come back to it. My sister's coming here from Denmark. Don't go to the self-check stand. Don't go to McDonald's. Because everything's an illusion. It's all a joke. We're all supporting the same things we hate. We're all supporting, we're all on the same side, We got to realize that if you're not rich, the rich are not your friend. Everybody, I can't tell you, since I was a kid, I'd be like, I hate Nicki Minaj. Or I don't like Drake. You know what I mean? When Drake first came out, I didn't like him. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, he's fucking rich. That was everyone's reasoning as to why I should just like people. He's rich. It's just like, what? Like, I don't like Tupac as a rapper. I could think of 100 rappers that I would much rather listen to. Yeah, I do not. Nothing he's ever said, I'm like, wow. I'm not blown away by any of it. I've never been like, you know what I mean? But I also like mint chocolate chip ice cream. So it's all flavor, but people will tell you because you're rich, I'm supposed to respect you. Just because a restaurant is successful doesn't mean you should respect it. Just because people are doing it doesn't mean it's a good idea. It really fucking doesn't. It really doesn't mean it's a good idea. So just because a self-check stand is fucking busier doesn't mean it's a good idea. It's just, it's all working against us. When all these people, when the restaurant industry gets decimated and these 20 million people find other jobs and never go back, and more people leave and never go back, and restaurants close, and then corporations take over, and small mom and pop places die even more, with between Amazon and all these things and all this bullshit and all these corporations, and when they're finally suffocated away, it's gonna, I mean, once you get rid of the food, everyone's gonna realize, like, hey man, like, I used to be able to get good food, now it's just all bullshit. Like, I hope people like, I don't know if they'll ever realize it's not, no one's ever gonna turn this ship around. But it's just, dude, it's only gonna get more and more obvious. Because, I mean, there's less and less options for good food, dude. They just opened a Giordano's down the street from me. That's like a Chicago joint. You know, it started as like a singular Chicago place, got really popular, and now it's a fucking chain. It's everywhere. Red Robin's going to run the world someday. You better get used to it. Your Red Robin overlord, your Subway overlord. All right. You guys take care. Hey, smash that like and subscribe, dog. How the fuck do I only get 3 views a video? Like, I get it. I'm late in the game. I'm late in the YouTube game. I'm late in the internet game. I've been on the internet my whole life. I don't know why I never just did this. I really don't. Better late than never, bitch. I'm here now. It ain't going nowhere, and I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to do this forever. I really am. It is what it is. Eventually, if I have to get a CB radio and do it analog, I will, because that even sounds dope. It really does. I listened to the radio my whole life. I would fall asleep listening to the radio, listen to Loveline, that fucking demented psycho Dr. Drew, and Adam Carolla, and then a lot of baseball radio. I listened to Coast to Coast AM. So yeah, I fucks with it, dog. I might as well just be in the game. I'm in the game now and I ain't going nowhere. So smash that like, smash that subscribe, share this shit. Don't be a bitch. Don't go to restaurants and still fuck dispensaries. Buy your weed, get in, get out. Don't make friends. Fuck these people. Fuck their tip jar. I mean, are you supposed to? That's the thing, dude. Everyone's like, but you should tip. You should. That's the biggest shit I'll get is like the tipping. And it's like, dude, I tip, but I still don't know why. I really don't know why. Out of guilt. It's out of pure fucking guilt. We're all brainwashed. The only reason anybody tips or anybody would get mad at me for not wanting to tip is because you're brainwashed. You're indoctrinated into this bullshit. These rich cocksucking cunts should be paying these people to where they don't need my fucking tips. Just like when I go to fucking Safeway, I shouldn't have to be asked if I want to round up to the nearest dollar or donate to some fucking... You donate to the fucking fund, bitch. If Safeway gave a shit, they wouldn't be asking me. Take your dividends this quarter and put it into that. 9 cents a share, or whatever the fuck you pay out, put it into that. The fuck you? Oh my god, they passed the buck and they passed the guilt. Same with this fucking, the global warming shit. Like, dude, I'm gonna buy an Excursion and you can suck my dick. I don't care. Like, I still have a Honda Civic. I've driven a Ford Focus, a Chevy Cobalt, all of them illegally, and all of them fuel efficient. And it's just like when I got Benji the Bulldog, just like when I picked him up off the dark web. Like, it's about goddamn time I'm getting a purebred. I'm not getting one of these street dogs. I'm getting a fucking dope, rich dude dog. I want a dope dog. So, yeah, it's just, stop passing the buck on to me, dude. Like, these, one cruise ship does what 1 million excursions do in a year in one trip. One cruise ship going from San Diego to Alaska and back will do more damage than your one SUV could do in 1 million fucking years. So I don't want to hear it. Anyways, now I'm mad. How did I get mad? How did venting piss me off? Anyways, my wife's calling me. I'm going to have to call her back. She's wondering where I am and what's happening to me. But when I get going, I don't want to pause. I kept pausing last time. That's the only thing that broke that one up and made it shorter. I genuinely kept losing momentum. Yeah, once I hit record, I ought to just go. I'm gonna give George a call, get him back on. The last one we did was haphazard. I didn't, I just hit record and we just bullshitted. I'm gonna give him a call, record that. I'm gonna start calling my grandfather, recording all those, and then calling my grandmother, my mentally and physically unwell grandmother, my dad's mom, and then my mom's stepdad. Gonna be calling them. Not gonna shit on restaurants anymore. I just don't go to them. It's just like all the family I hate, like my faggot stepdad and all these fucking people, like my shithead cousin, and these people are fucking terrible people, and I don't think about them. That's the thing. If I hate you, there's tons of friends I had that I hate, and you're not friends with, you're not cool with, or not hate, but that's the thing is I don't hate them. I just don't think about you. You don't cross my mind. That's what it is. So restaurants don't cross my mind. I know how to cook. I go to Safeway and I get mad at them, like I just said, for wanting me to fucking donate. But yeah, tip, it's just like, think of it like charity, I guess. That's what I have to do. That's genuinely what I have to do. Otherwise I'll lose my fucking mind. But, yeah, man, it's just ridiculous. Because all you're doing is letting the owner buy a yacht, because she can barely pay her rent. That server can barely pay her rent with your tip, but that owner, by you not making him pay a real wage, he bought a yacht. So, yeah, we're all going to hell. I hope I live to see it. I hope I live long enough to see it. Got to start eating right and getting right. All right, y'all. Like, subscribe, smash that shit. Don't be a bitch. Come on, man. I'm funnier than... Who the fuck are you listening to? Well, like, what? Come on, dude. Like, who name who you want to listen to, and I can impersonate him. Pick somebody in the comment, and I'll impersonate him next week. All right, peace. Benji, say goodbye. Put your fucking hand down. Just say goodbye. Come here, boy. He got mad. I yelled at him. He's sensitive right now. All right, new recording.